This is the new Canon RF85mm f2 macro IS lens. Let's dive in. What's up guys, it's John here. Now in this episode of Afterwalk Gear Review, I'm going to dive in about the 85mm which was announced together with the EOS R5 and R6, and I've got the EOS R6 together with me today. Now I've got the lens for a couple of days and I've tested it out a little bit, and here is my review. Now, I think the 85mm is going to be a very versatile lens for a wedding photographer because at 85mm it is good for portraits photography as well. And today we've got a talent and she will be modeling for me to test out the 85 f2, and we'll see how these photographs are. So let's get started with the shoot. You know what would be nicer? If you just turn towards the light. Okay, I just want you to chin out a little bit, just look towards the light. Alright, chin up some more, darling. Okay, eyes on me. Chin up. This camera can just go.
The 85mm is one of many toolkit of a portrait photographer, and the 85 focal length has virtually no distortion, compression which results to beautiful bokeh and separation to the portraits.
Okay, let's try an f2. So stay where you were, like, okay, and put back, go down like that, chin up. Okay, play, got it.
And at 85, you don't have to stand too far away from your subject.
My first impression of having this lens attached to the R6 body is how light the whole entire package is. Now, if you compare this lens with the other 85mm out in the market for the Canon body, this is probably one of the lightest one out there. And I've got the 85mm Sigma f1.4 here together with me, and this is not secured properly. And this is a heavy lens. There's a lot of glasses inside here. And this 85mm together with the R6 is really light. I've got a feeling, and well, this is not really scientifically correct, I think the body together with the lens is lighter than the 85mm Sigma itself. We're gonna be mimicking natural light from the window as like any wedding photographer. So we're gonna use natural light window to light up Shelly.
And this is straight out of camera. I noticed there's a slight vignetting that's happening at the edges, which is easily corrected in Lightroom through their lens profile. The lens is sharp and I have no problem sending these off to my clients.
And since we are talking about the Sigma f1.4 and also the 85mm, is the segue for me to compare these both lenses. Now I've done a shoot together with Anna Rina over the weekend to test out the lens and check out what I've got to say.
First up, the autofocus is fast when I was photographing portraits, and when paired it together with the EOS R6, face tracking and subject tracking stays sticky on a moving subject. These are straight out of camera photographs. I've got these two images side by side, and can you tell which is the 85 f2 versus the 85 f1.4? The f2's bokeh is nice, and I've got no problem with that. But the f1.4 is certainly superior, and I personally like the characteristic of that lens.
I'm gonna be straight with you. The 85mm Sigma f1.4, the bokeh and the creaminess of that photo is gonna be superior from the f2, while the 85 f2 makes up with the macro capability, which is a huge win for wedding photographers like me, because on a wedding day, we've got to shoot portraits, we've got to shoot wedding details, we've got to shoot rings, we've got to shoot stuff like that. I think the 85mm f2 macro is great for product shoot, and I'm going to be attempting a flat lay on this table with a tablecloth like this, putting things together. The thing about flat lay, you don't need to be taking just from the top. I love to use a 85mm like this to focus on one particular item in the whole entire collection. The good thing about this being macro, I can get close up to the product and perhaps maybe capture the branding. Let's switch this to camera mode. I'm going to make sure that I've got 4K 60 turned on so that I can slow it down even. later on. Let's get something closer even. So this is an RF lens, and all RF lens come standard with the control ring. I configure my ISO settings over here so I can tune up ISO and tune down ISO, but you do you. You can configure this ring to whatever the camera allows you to do. So are you seeing this? So that's the barrel that does extend when it's hunting for focus. Of course, it's hunting for focus right now. The cap is on. So once it locks in focus, it stays there. And you've got this knob over here. Now this is a macro lens. This knob enables the autofocus to be faster because you will be predetermining the focal range of this lens so it doesn't hunt as much. And of course, we've got the stabilizer on and off over here. And besides the Canon 85mm f1.8, I don't think there is any other lens that is cheaper on the 85mm than that one. So this one has macro as well, and it's in 2020 and it's an RF mount. So to sum up, the 85mm is a great versatile tool to have in the camera bag. At 85mm is a great focal length for portrait photography. It has macro capability, so if you're a product photographer, this will be a good lens to explore. And if you are shooting weddings, wedding details, this will be a lens to have. Other 85mm, I think, has a little bit more characteristic to the lens. This one, f1.4 to bokeh, is pretty good. And other macro lenses does extreme close-up. This one is at about 35cm, 0.35 meter, the closest that you can focus. So you wouldn't see the extreme close-up of, say, a ring on a wedding day. So this lens will be a good complement to other lenses in your camera bag. And if you're still watching this and you find this video helpful for your purchasing decision, click on the thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.